Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to take up the topic of dividend decisions, and in this chapter, in this particular lecture we will be discussing about the basics of dividend, though in the entire chapter related to dividends we will be taking different topics like policies of dividend and factors affecting dividend. But in today's lecture, we are going to take the basics of dividend, that is the introductory part of dividend. First of all, we must understand as to what is dividend. Dividend is that part of the profits of a company which is distributed by the company amongst its shareholders. Dividend, how much dividend is to be paid, how much profits are to be retained, this is also one of the important area of the financial management where the financial manager has to play a crucial role. Basically, in this dividend decision, we have to decide as to how much profits is to be distributed to the shareholders in the form of dividend, and how much profits should be kept by the company as retained earnings, or how much profits it should plow back. Since we have already discussed that dividend is the part of the profit which is distributed by the company to the shareholders, that is the profit which is left with the company after the payment of interest and taxes. Out of that profit, the company has to pay dividend to the shareholders. And whatever is paid to the shareholders in the form of dividend, that is obviously known as dividend, and remaining part which is left with the company, that is known as the retained earnings. So keeping the profits with the company, retaining the profits in the form of retained earnings, that may be important from the company's point of view, but getting dividend will be important from the point of view of the shareholders. Basically, dividend is a return that a shareholder gets on his investment in the company. When a shareholder invests in the shares of the company, the return he gets from the company, that he gets in two types. One is the dividend which he gets in routine from the company, and second, he gets his return in the form of capital gains while selling the shares. That is the profit which is earned by the shareholder at the time of selling his investment, that is known as capital gain, and part of profit which is given by the company to the shareholders, that is known as the dividend. So obviously it means dividend is a return that is available to the shareholder, or that a shareholder gets from a company. For example, if I invest my company my money or my deposits in some bank or somewhere else, so I will be getting interest from the bank or from some company. But when I invest in the shares of some company, the return which I will be getting from the company, that will be in the form of dividend. So it is an important decision for the finance manager of the firm, as he has to decide as to how much profits or how much amount of profit is to be distributed as dividend, and how much amount of profit should be retained in the business, because the payment of more dividends results in lesser retained earnings, and payment of less dividends results in more retained earnings. Payment of dividend and shareholders wealth. So what is the relation between the payment of dividend and shareholders wealth? Basically, the payment of dividend, or the objective which is achieved through the payment of dividend, that is the maximization of the wealth of the shareholders. Because when company pays dividend to the shareholders, they will be getting the money, they will be investing it in their profitable opportunities, and in this case, shareholders, since the shareholders are having the investment opportunities or profitable opportunities, so they will be investing their money there. But in case the shareholders are not having the investment opportunities, then in that case the company should retain the amounts but at the same time the company should utilize that amount in some expansion programs, and that company must utilize that amount for the purpose of earning further profits. And if the company is not having the profitable opportunities, then in that case it would be better for a company to pay more dividends to the shareholders. In this way, dividend decision affects the value of the firm.